I was muted. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shalom.
I am Nasi Karashi Shema, which is Chief Prince Shema, and I have my lovely Isha with me.
Nasika Amuna, or Princess Amuna.
And we are This is Bed Minds Eye Ministries. For those of you that's not familiar, for those of you that are familiar, welcome back. Make sure that you share. Make sure that you like if you have yet to do so, and also make sure that you subscribe if you haven't done so either. This is going to be part two. What are you doing this for? All right. For those that haven't seen part one, you have to make sure you go back and watch it. I will reference certain things. Perhaps I might, go backwards a little bit so you know where we're going. But please make sure you go and you check out part one if you have yet to do so. All right. Before we get started, we're going to go ahead and go into the reading. We're going to open up with a reading. And then after we're done with the reading, Isha is going to go ahead and open us up with a nice song. All right. So let's get started. I want to start off in Proverbs 11:1. All right. Proverbs 11:1. Here we go.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Proverbs 11:1.
Give me 1 second. Are your mic off?
It's on.
All right. I just wanted to make sure. I want to make sure. So just speak up a little bit if you can, Ishti.
Proverbs 11:1. A false balance is an abomination to Yahweh, but a just weight is his delight.
So a false balance is an abomination to the Most High, but a just weight is his delight. This led off in Proverbs being the very first verse. It is very important for us to understand the importance of balance. When we aren't balanced when dealing with the Most High's people, when dealing with our husbands to the women, we're dealing with our wives to the men, we're dealing with our children, we're dealing with anything that the Most High has blessed us with, that's when it becomes an abomination, especially dealing with what thus says the Most High. So we have to keep that in mind. A false balance is an abomination. We're going to go to Psalms 19. We're going to go to Psalms chapter 19. We're going to start at verse 7. Scroll it up. Psalms 19:7. Hallelujah.
The law of Yahweh is perfect, reviving the soul. The testimony of Yahweh is sure, making wise the simple. The precepts of Yahweh are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of Yahweh is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of Yahweh is clean, enduring forever. The rules of Yahweh are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than gold, even much fine gold, sweeter also than honey, and drippings of the honeycomb. Moreover, by them is your servant warned, in keeping them there is great reward. Who can discern his errors? Declare me innocent from hidden faults. Keep back your servant also from presumptuous sins. Let them not have dominion over me. Then I shall be blameless, and innocent of great transgression. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Yahweh, my rock and my redeemer.
Let the words that come out of my mouth and the meditation of my thoughts or my heart be acceptable, right? This is very important when we see Dawood is bringing out and solidifying the importance of what the Most High has put in place, the structure, the commandments, the laws. And what's interesting is we understand dealing with just a regular people, dealing with just a regular United States, dealing with countries. We understand that these laws and commandments that's been in place to protect the people, they're very important. Now, we don't agree with all of them, of course, but it's in place for that very reason, to prevent chaos, to add on to thriving as a nation, as a people. So how much more so is it for the Most High. And this is what we see Dawud is saying. And also the last thing I want to bring out with this particular scripture that we're reading is the importance of your mouth and your thoughts being acceptable to the Most High. A lot of times we speak quickly and we're just thinking of random things. We're not even meditating on what we're thinking, and we're definitely not holding fast to what we're saying, right? We do the walk. We theoretically do the walk, but we're not looking and making sure that the Most High is viewing what we're doing to be acceptable. And of course, we're not going to always know if everything, but we do have a blueprint that can guide us. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go to the very next scripture. We're going to go to 1 Samuel or Shemuel. 1 Samuel, Shemuel 16 and verse 7.
Verse 7 reads, But Yahweh said to Samuel, Do not look on his appearance or on the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For Yahweh sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but Yahweh looks on the heart.
Man looks on the outward appearance. Right? The Most High looks what is within. We had a discussion yesterday on the platform of love and balance. We were speaking on this. We were speaking on this, and the main thing that we have to focus on is making sure that our intent is very present, right? Of course, doing what thus says the Most High is important, or in addition with that, I should say, not but, is the Most High looks really at the intent, because you can be doing what it says, but at the same time, you're not doing what it says, because thus says the Most High is speaking on things in the physical and it's speaking on things in the spiritual, right? What are you thinking? What's going on in your mind? What do you really view this person as? All these things are very important. All right, let's go ahead and go to Psalms 26, and we're going to read the entire chapter.
Psalms 26 reads, Of David, vindicate me, O Yahweh, for I have walked in my integrity and have trusted in Yahweh without wavering. Prove me, O Yahweh, and try me. Test my heart and my mind. For your steadfast love is before my eyes, and I walk in your faithfulness. I do not sit with men of falsehood, nor do I consort with hypocrites.
Let's stop right there. I do not sit with men of falsehood, nor do I consort with hypocrites. Why is this being said? Why is Dawud saying this? Right? Is this something that we should be doing, consorting with hypocrites or sitting with men of falsehood? It doesn't say don't be an example to the men of falsehood. It doesn't say don't come and try to show the men of falsehood the right way to do, or even the hypocrites, but it's telling you I do not sit amongst them. Right? We know what Dawud did. Dawud knows what he did. But now he's being back consistent. He's rebuilding that integrity that he lost. So now he's standing firm in what he know he is at this point. Hamshake?
I hate the assembly of evildoers, and I will not sit with the wicked. I wash my hands in innocence and go around your altar, O Yahweh, proclaiming thanksgiving aloud and telling all your wondrous deeds. O Yahweh, I love the habitation of your house and the place where your glory dwells. Do not sweep my soul away with sinners, nor my life with bloodthirsty men.
Let's stop there. Let's start at verse 8. I love the habitation of your house and the place where your glory dwells. Verse 7, proclaiming the thanksgiving aloud, right? So us just doing it on our own, we're keeping the laws or the commandments of the Most High. We're keeping what's being said. One of the things that's also said is to speak it, to talk about it daily, right? So speaking it aloud and telling all the Most High's wondrous deeds. It's not just about doing things by yourself. You actually have to bring it out, okay? And the last thing, do not sweep my soul away with sinners. Wait a minute. I thought that we're all sinners. That's what's taught. That's taught in Christianity. That's also taught within our community. You don't want to be that. And we're going to find that out in this second part of what are you doing this for? You don't want to be labeled a sinner. That is not our culture. That is not our way. The understanding that was given to us through the prophets, through the Most High, to be called and be labeled and to walk as a sinner. All right, Hamshake, verse 10.
In whose hands are evil devices, and whose right hands are full of bribes.
Mm-hmm.
But as for me, I shall walk in my integrity.
I shall walk in my integrity.
Redeem me and be gracious to me. My foot stands on level ground. In the great assembly, I will bless Yahweh.
Your integrity should not be sometimes. Your integrity should be all the time. Do your best to do it all the time. And I'm not saying do your best from a standpoint, okay, I'm doing it now, my best, but I'm falling here. So no, every moment should be moved as if you are integrity. You should continue to move that way. Righteous man is going to fall, but he's going to remain in his integrity. That fall is not what everyone believes it to be. It can be anything from, okay, I'm keeping this the way to the Most High, and I found out this is wrong. I failed in this area because I wasn't aware of it, right? Or I wasn't equipped or mature in this different area, but I'm righteous. I'm moving in righteousness so that I can bounce back from it. I learn from it, and then I'm going to go forward. So integrity should be the forefront of what you're doing in your path and your walk, next to being balanced, because a false balance is an abomination. All right, we're going to go to Joshua right now. For those that's tuning in, that's coming in right now, we're doing our readings before we get started. We started off at Proverbs 11:1. We went to Psalms 19:7 through 14, 1 Samuel 16:7, and now that was just Psalms 26. Now we're about to go to Joshua. Joshua 26:15. All right, let me pull it up for you. I mean 24:15. All right, here we go.
Joshua 24:15.
Bring it up a little bit.
Joshua 24:15.
Whatever.
And if it is evil in your eyes to serve Yahweh, choose this day whom you will serve, whether the powers of your fathers served in the region beyond the river, or the powers of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve Yahweh.
As for me and my house, we will serve Yah. Everyone that's on this path that you are on does not know all the ins and outs about the culture, all the ins about context. A lot of us, we're teaching or we're bringing stuff out from regurgitation. So we're not understanding the ins and outs from the circumcise your thoughts or your heart mindset, or contextually. We're not understanding a lot of these things. We're not understanding that the pinnacle of how we're supposed to move starts from that man and that woman. We're removing a woman out, right? We're removing a man now. In order to satisfy and be pleasing in the Most High fully, it has to start with man and woman, right? It has to start there, or the community is going to fall and the nation is just not even going to be built at all. All right. So before we get started, we're going to go ahead and do this closing scripture. We're going to go to Psalms 25. Psalms 25. I'm going to read 4 through 7.
Make me to know your ways, O Yahweh. Teach me your paths. Lead me in your truth and teach me, for you are Elohim of my salvation. For you I will wait all the day long. Remember your mercy,
Remember your mercy.
And your steadfast love, for they have been from old.
So the Most High has been merciful from old. A lot of people are teaching in today's society that, later literature is when the mercy is there, the grace is there. No, the mercy has been from old. This is one of my favorite scriptures in the Tanakh, period. Make me to know your ways. Oh, yeah. Why? Because there are many teachers out there. There are many proclaimed prophets out there. We are doing the same thing that we did in the prophet days when they had to come and correct what was being taught by the leaders, to correct the people. So make me to know your ways. This doesn't mean I'm not going to listen to elders. This doesn't mean I'm not going to listen to teachers. Send me those teachers and those elders that know your ways properly if I don't know it. Because the ways of the Most High is just not going to pop out of thin air to you. There's exception to the rules where we can see that may have happened, but that's not the consistency of how the Most High operates throughout and with his people. So make me to know your ways is going to need people that are qualified to help if you're not that. Teach me your paths. What direction am I supposed to go? What's the understanding of this literature that I'm reading? Is this the proper translation that I'm reading? Because translation changes doctrine. I'm not sure if you all are aware of that. Shalom to those that's tuning in. Please subscribe, like, and share. If you haven't, we appreciate you all tuning in. We're about to get started soon. Lead me in your truth and teach me. Right? Last week we was talking about, we're going to go into it because this is part 2. What are you doing this for? We saw that the Most High was talking about your feast days, your new moons, your solemn assembly. Wait a minute. Didn't the Most High give us that? The Most High did, but we polluted it. So when we pollute something, it becomes ours. So right here in Psalm 25 is saying, lead me in your truth and teach me. Because sometimes you can be brought to that truth and you're being taught by someone else. So lead me in your truth and teach me, for you are the Elohim of my salvation. For you, I wait all day long. Sometimes you have to wait. Don't be so quick. You learn something, you figure something out, you find some specific doctrine out, and you're just ready to go. As soon as you feel you learned something, you're ready to go. Once you have an aha moment, look what I read. You're not the first person that read that. If you're new in the truth, if you're older in the truth, if you're first 2-3 years, or if you're 14, 15 to 20 years, you're not that first person 9 times out of 10. So slow down a little bit and go deeper in your understanding. Fast, meditate. If you need someone to help with the Hebrew or whatever it is you're studying, go that direction. Do not be so quick and be the cause of further or more people in the as Bnei Israel to fall because they're reading what you're teaching. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Before we get started, my Isha is going to open us up with a song. Let me go ahead and pull that off. Open us up with a song, and then I'm going to open up with prayer, and then we will begin. I'm going to turn my mic off so you can come from your mic. So that? All right. So.
Hallelujah. Shabbat shalom lekulam. As the days of Noah, can you keep us safe and dry? 'Cause we don't want you to ever pass us by. As the days of Noah, can you keep us safe and dry? 'Cause we don't want you to ever pass us by. Oh, 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 oh. As the days of Noah, can you keep us safe and dry? 'Cause we don't want you to ever pass us by. As the days of Noah, can you keep us safe and dry, 'cause we don't want you to ever pass us by. Oh, 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 as the days of Noah, can you keep us safe and dry? 'Cause we don't want you to ever pass us by.
Switch. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All minds clear. All minds clear. Borenu, abinu malakinu. Anime bikesh, shanabola kaseshelka. Salak lanu alkol tumashehi. Pezit ruchanid wanafshi. Our Father, our Creator, our King, I ask that we approach your throne. Please forgive us for any uncleanness that is spiritual, physical, or mental. Torah. We give you all the praise and all the glory, the eternal source and unyielding power of all that exists, the creator of all things known and unknown. We thank you. We appreciate you for another Shabbat. Oh, great King, we ask that you forgive us for anything that we have done that has offended you. We also ask that you forgive us for the sins that we may have committed unknowingly. Please continue to cover Bnei Yisrael. For Bnei Yisrael is covered through you due to the covenant that you have made with our forefathers. We know that you are merciful. We know that you are gracious. We know that you are compassionate. We know that you want us to continue in righteousness, oh great King. So continue to lead us and show us the path, show us the truth, and show us your ways so that we can succeed in what you have laid out before us. Strengthen those that are less fortunate than us, the fatherless, the widows, the widowers. Oh, great King, we ask that you send something or send someone in their path to continue to strengthen their minds, strengthen their spirit, so that they can stay on the path and the instruction that you have given our forefathers. We ask that you continue to cover Israel. We're supposed to be the priests of the rest of the nations, oh, great King. We understand that there is only a remnant within a remnant. But we ask that you strengthen those that you deem to be those who are the remnant within the remnant. I pray that there's something that is said today that helps to provoke thought and change in our lives so we can become closer to you. Bless us, O great King, and we bless and honor your name. Haluet Makoa Haniski, Haluet Akoa Haniski, Haluet Hamaleka Elion. Praise the eternal power, praise the eternal source, and praise the Supreme King. All right, you all. We are about to get started. Go right to the lesson. Torah Rabbah Ishti for that. Torah for the reading. So what are you doing this for? What are you all doing this walk for? Why are we doing this? Only because we believe ourselves to be Israel. A lot of things comes with that. A lot of things. And we know that our people, when they came out of Mitzrayim, they had to learn it the hard way. But we speak of them like we won't learn that hard way as well. So let's go through it. We started off last week. We were in Isaiah chapter 1. We bounced around, so we're going to do some traveling. But we were in Isaiah chapter 1, and we ended at Isaiah chapter 2. Now, there's a lot of context involved with it, but I'm using this and I'm going to certain places for the purpose of us to realize and to figure out through these teachings, what are we actually doing it for? All right, so let's go ahead and go to Isaiah chapter 1 or Isaiah chapter 2. Okay, we're actually in Isaiah chapter 3. Are we in Isaiah chapter 1? Let me go all the way down. I wanted to bring something out. Yes. So we're in Isaiah chapter 2, but I want to start Isaiah 1, 28 through 31. All right. I'm going a little bit outside of where I actually wanted us to go, but I'm going to start in Isaiah, in Isaiah chapter 1, because I read something earlier. All right. We bounced around. Earlier, we talked about unleavened bread, Shavuot, and Sukkot last week. We knew that these three things were purpose for us to understand humility and community. It was humility and community. Most High don't need us to really do these things. These things, the purpose is to do what? Serve Him and also learn how to serve one another. Right? What are you doing it for? I also brought out last week, I talked about the idea of being a personal trainer. One of the things I used to ask the people, what is your why? Your why is going to dictate how successful you are. Your why is going to dictate how consistent you are. Your why is going to dictate how genuine you are in whatever you're trying to do. For example, if you're a person trying to lose weight, but you're really only losing weight because you're going on a trip next month or 2 months from now. Once the trip is over, 9 times out of 10, and I know that to be true, you will gain that weight back because your why was small. The children of Israel, they cried out to the Most High. Their why was small. They just wanted to be saved and get out of this captivity. But their why wasn't looking at the bigger picture, right? To go forward and to become a nation, to be self-sufficient and to have your own structure in righteousness. These are the things that we miss. But let's go. Isaiah 1:28. I want to start back here. It says, but rebels and sinners shall be broken together, and those who forsake Yah shall be consumed. Why did I start here? We're supposed to go to chapter 2. I need this to be understood. But rebels are those that go against righteous structure that is consistent with what has been laid out to us as a people throughout the text. I worded that on purpose that way because sometimes we create things that is for the betterment of ourselves, for the people that we are over. But it has to be consistent of what the Most High has wanted us to be. So we're rebelling against that. And then it says, but rebels and sinners. Throw the sinners out of your mind, you all. Stop teaching that you are sinners. If you are teaching you are sinners, I'm going to keep harping on this. I harp on this probably one every 3 teachings. But rebels and sinners shall be broken together, and those who forsake the Most High Yah shall be consumed. The first chapter is the Most High is trying to reason with us. The Most High is telling us to clean ourselves, change our mindset, change how we're thinking, because how we're thinking and how we've been programmed by those that taught us is incorrect. That is what the prophets is for. The prophets didn't just birth themselves. The prophets was among those who was over us. Again, this is not to knock any righteous teachers or elders. I believe in teachers. I believe in elders. I believe in structure, but I believe more in righteousness and balance. Let's keep going. But rebels and sinners shall be broken together, and those who forsake the Most High Yah shall be consumed. For they shall be ashamed of the oaks that you desire, and you shall blush for the gardens that you have chosen. I won't keep reading through that. You all go through the chapter yourself. But I wanted to start off at 1:28. All right. I gave you a little bit of where we were going last week. We went through Exodus because we was building off chapter 1. We went to Exodus 6 and 7. The Most High said, you will be my people. We went to Leviticus chapter 23 when he said, these are my feast days. These is my Moedim, right? These are my appointed times, my new months. We say moons, but that's fine. My new month. But then we read where he said, these are your new moons, your feast days. So it's a reason. It's a reason. All right. And that's because we're rebels and we're sinners. We can go from being sinners. We're not all that. All right. Let's go to chapter 2. Let's get started with chapter 2, you all. All right. The word that Yeshayahu, Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Yehuda and Jerusalem. It shall come to pass in the latter days that the mountain of the house of Yah shall be established as the highest of the mountains and shall be lifted up above the hills, and all the nations shall flow to it. Context-wise, Isaiah is dealing with kings, you all. You will read that in chapter 1 when it talks about who he's coming on behalf of and what point where was he coming during that time. But it's times in Isaiah, which we're going to be going through, I'm going to bounce around there, where it's talking about times that's after our time now, 2025. Right? Let's keep going. And many people shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of Yah, to the house of Elohim of Yaakov, that he may teach us his ways and that he may walk, we may walk in his paths. Now you remember in when we came out of Mitzrayim, that's what the Most High had told Moshe to tell Paro, Pharaoh, let them go out there so they can worship me. They can learn my paths, right? This is the same thing happening over and over. And it's going to be the same thing here from 2025. But let's keep going. He shall judge between the nations and shall decide disputes for many peoples. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So this is a prophecy. This is after our time. We're still seeing war now. We're still seeing swords or firearms against one another. Keep in mind. O house of Yaakov, verse 5, come, let us walk in the light of Yah. Yeshayahu is saying let's walk in the light of Yah, because we're not walking in the light of Yah. We're walking in the light of those outside of us. Some teach we're in captivity right now. And typically, if you're not self-sufficient or autonomous on your own, then you are in a captive state if you're not able to serve properly your power, which Yahweh is the creator of all things. He is the Most High. But a lot of us can't walk in it. Chief Prince Zabulin was on the platform last night, and he was using the term God. He said that our God is those that's in power here in the U.S. That's our God. They control everything that we do. They don't have to. We're able to remove that if we listen to Jeremiah, right? Jeremiah spoke on this. Build your own communities, right? Build all these things. Grow your own food. All these things is important, but that's another topic. Let's keep going. Verse 6. And it says, for you have rejected your people, the house of Yaakov, because they are full of things from the east and of fortune tellers like the Philistines. And they strike hands with the children of foreigners. They strike hands. This could be looked at two ways: getting in battle with them or shaking their hand, making agreements, a covenant with them. That's what many of us are doing, and that's what many of us have to get away from. So striking hands with the children of foreigners, their land is filled with silver and gold, and there is no end to their treasures. Their land is filled with horses, and there is no end to their chariots. This sounds very familiar. Very familiar. Let's go somewhere. I don't even have this in here, but I'm about to bring it out. Pay attention to the verbiage real quick. It says, their land is filled with silver and gold, and there is no end to their treasures. No end. Their land is filled with horses, and there is no end to their chariots. Their land is filled with idols. They bow down to the work of their hands. So we're going to focus more so on verse 7. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 17. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 17. Check out this. Verse 14. This is dealing with a king, right? Most High was preparing us to look out for these type of kings. When you come to the land that Yah, your Elohim, is giving you, and you possess it and dwell in it, and then say, I will set a king over me. Remember, we was just reading, we're shaking hands with the foreigners. Why are we shaking hands with the foreigners? The Most High is our king, still is our king. And we don't really understand that, by the way. But we want to be just like everyone else. We see that those that's watching right now, you know I'm telling the truth. On so many different subjects, we want to be like everyone else. But at the same time, they want to be like us. Let me keep reading, though. Let's not get off course. You may indeed set a king over you, whom Yah, your Elohim, will choose. One from among your brothers, you shall set as king over you. So this is interesting. The Most High is putting something in place. I'm going to make a way for you all to go this route, but it has to be someone from your brothers, right? This means that we're picking these presidents, we're picking these politicians and things like that. Yes, some of them can be so-called black, so we pick them because they're so-called black. But I believe we should pick those that are walking in the Torah because they understand Yah. But that's another topic. You may not put a foreigner over you, right? Then we just read that in chapter 2 when it says we're shaking the hands of foreigners, who is not your brother. Only he must not acquire many horses for himself, or cause the people to return in Mizraim in order to acquire many horses. Since Yah has said to you, you shall never return that way again. We read this. And he shall not acquire many wives for himself, right? Lest his heart turn away, nor shall he acquire for himself excess silver and gold. Isn't this what we're reading in chapter 2? So when people go to here and talk about many wives, it's not talking about many wives. That's not the context. It's telling you those who have a power or have some type of authority, do not overconsume yourself with things that's going outside of what I'm putting in place. There are many farmers out there that have multiple horses. So that's not what it's talking about. But chapter 2 is telling you what it's talking about. It's telling you because when we're doing that, we're doing what they're doing it. It's no end. They're losing balance and focus on the eternal source, the Most High Power, the Supreme King, Yahweh. All right, I'm going to stop there. Let's go back to Isaiah. I just had to go there because Isaiah chapter 2, it's all consistent. All of this is consistent. The Most High continues to tell us the same thing over and over in different ways, but most time it's consistent. What verse was I at? All right, verse 7. The land is filled with, let's go to verse 6. For you have rejected your people, the house of Yaakov, because they are full of things from the east and of fortune tellers, like the Philistines, and they strike hands with the children of foreigners. Their land is filled with silver and gold. We just read that. And there is no end to their treasures. Their land is filled with horses, and there is no end to their chariots. The Most High is telling us not to be like them. Be satisfied. That's not the word I wanted to use, but be satisfied with what I'm supplying you with. But since you're not, I'm going to lay a parameter, a boundary. I'm going to give you this, but here's a boundary. Don't overindulge in this. It's going to cause you to go away from me. Understand, what are you doing this for? And this is what Yeshayahu is bringing out. Let's keep going. Their land is filled with idols. They bow down to the work of their hands, to what their own fingers have made. So man is humbled, and each one is brought low. Do not forgive them, right? Enter into the rock and hide in the dust from before the terror of Yah. This is dealing with future. But we do know this happens back then as well. This happens shortly in this time as well. But you got to pay attention to the clues of what's being said, all right? Verse 11, the haughty looks of man shall be brought low, and the lofty pride of men shall be humbled. Arrogance is the word that should be used right here for pride. Arrogance is the word that should be used for pride. And Yah alone will be exalted in that day. He's going to bring all of the arrogant down. Oh, well, Nasi Harashi, Chief Prince, that's talking about other people. No, he's talking about us. And we're going to see that if we have time today. He's talking about us as well. All right. For Yah of hosts has a day against all that is proud and lofty, against all that is lifted up, and it shall be brought low. All right. Against all the cedars of Lebanon, lofty and lifted up, and against all the oaks of Bashan, against all the lofty mountains, and against all the uplifted hills, against every high tower, and against every fortified wall. So these things are things that's possessed by individuals as well. So any individual that's arrogant in this way, right, doesn't have this humility that the Most High wants, they're going to be brought down, and their possessions are going to be brought down as well. And the haughtiness, verse 17, of man shall be humbled, and the lofty pride of men shall be brought low, and Yah alone will be exalted in that day. What are you all doing this for? A lot of times we don't believe this is us. We're going to read some things today that we're not going to believe is talking about us. But we have to humble ourselves and understand that. But see, when I say that, I'm not saying it in the sense that no one can be Tamim or Tom. We have to be that. Because if we're not that, then we're sinners. If we're not that, then we are rebels. Because we're going contrary to what is put in place by the Most High. So you got to choose which one you want to be. Righteous and upright, or rebels and sinners. Which one do you want to be? Don't let no one tell you that no one can be righteous. Don't let anyone tell you that everyone is sinners. And be cautious, and I say this cautiously myself, because I understand why we say it. When you hear someone is telling you no one is perfect. I say that respectfully. When you say that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, which that's said over and over and over again in our communities, that causes people not to have integrity or any accountability, solidified accountability, because we believe that no one is perfect. I think a lot of us could be afraid, scared of failing. We're going to fail. Everyone fails at something. But perfection or tamim is talking about someone that is balanced, and they have that integrity, and they're purposefully pressing to be that. That in itself is perfect. And that will cause you to fall less. We're going to see that as we continue reading. Stop calling yourself sinners and try your best to stop saying no one is perfect. Just do the work. Just do the work. What's on verse 20? All right. In that day, mankind will cast away their idols. In that day, they're still idols today, you all. In that day, after today, futuristically, after 2025, mankind will cast away their idols of silver and the idols of gold. We make money our idol. We make finances our idol. Let me say this really quickly. We need finances, by the way. I'm not saying that we shouldn't encourage and teach people how to be successful in that department. But when we're leading off with that, and we continue to lead off with that, it becomes your idol. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Let me see if anyone is, I see comments. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom, Sar, Yosef. All right, let's keep going. So we begin to make these things our idols, and we don't even understand that we're doing this, right? And these are why teachers are important, right? Elders are important. I say this because we're reading it in our very scripture. Every time the Most High was coming to help and instruct and teach and save, it was by someone or through them, right? That means all of the people did not have it all together. Judges chapter 3, Shoftim 3. Everyone was doing right in their own eyes. Doesn't mean everyone was wicked, by the way. They didn't have judges in place that can look through and make sure we're doing this properly. Everyone was just doing everything on their own, like we're doing now today. I believe it's worse today because we're so scattered. And we got so much social media. Me and my Isha today, I was just, before I started teaching this now, I was looking at so many different teachers out there. All praise to the Most High because that's good. But at the same time, it's so many different understandings. And if it's not properly brought out, teachers, if we're not doing our best to break down everything that we teach it to the best of our abilities, we can cause someone to fall and fail. And then they will regurgitate, which it's a lot of regurgitations in multiple subjects: language, how we're supposed to treat our women, how the women are supposed to treat the men, how we're supposed to marry, all of these things. But let's keep going. I'm going off topic. All right, verse 21. To enter the caverns of the rocks and the clefts of the cliffs from before the terror of Yah and from the splendor of his majesty when he rises to terrify the earth. Man, people don't teach this. To terrify the earth. Stop regarding man in whose nostrils is breath, for of what account is he? Now, you have to understand what this is saying. A lot of people use this scripture, and it's another scripture too. Can't think off the top of my head. And they say, trust no man. I only trust Yah. When you say that, you're sounding just like, respectfully, you're sounding just like in Job chapter 1-3, when the elders was telling and saying that the Most High does not trust his malachim or his messengers. But he just said in Job chapter 1 that he was Tom, he was perfect and upright before the people. But you have this elder who's being moved by the spirit. You know, we talk about that a lot. But this spirit is the one that influenced that elder in Job to say those things, which was contrary to the Most High in the scripture. So when we read this, stop regarding man in those nostrils. Stop regarding man whose nostrils is breath, which means he can't create himself. Stop regarding him. Stop putting him above me. That does not mean don't trust no man. I know what the scripture says, but there's a lot of context in there. Because if you can't trust no man, right? Listen to me when I say this. Then we shouldn't listen to no prophets. We shouldn't listen to Moshe. We shouldn't listen to anyone we regard as righteous in the scripture. So you have to understand what the scripture is saying when it says trust no man. Because a lot of people say that because they don't want any accountability put on them. I'm just going to trust what the Most High says. And if you are one of those that say that, I'm not attacking you. But just understand there's more context in that. And you can cause yourself to really fall because you might not be where you believe yourself to be. We're all still growing. Even the best of us. And we have to stay humble and understand that I have to trust some man. If you don't know the scripture like that, and you're only being led by the Spirit, there's exceptions to the rules. I'm going to say that. Okay. But most times, in order to be led by the Spirit, you have to have some knowledge of what it is you're trying to be led by. You have to have context knowledge for what you're trying to be led by or towards. So let's keep going. I don't want to harp on this. We have some ways to go. We have some ways. We're going through a few chapters, y'all. So bear with me. I pray that something that is being said today really helps. Jeremiah 17:5. I think, is that confirming what I had said? It might be Jeremiah 17:5. Check that out, Ishti, if you can. All right. So for that, finding Oh, okay, shalom. That's Neshama. I hope I'm saying it right. But that's what it is, trusting the man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But we have to understand what that means. The prophets was coming in, and the prophets was correcting what the leaders was causing the people to do. So you can't trust those men, right? You can't trust those men because they've been leading you astray. That's what the whole prophets was for. Every prophet came because of the leaders. But this is not to remove the leaders, you all. What am I doing it for? If I can't trust the leaders, who can I trust? At that point, you have to pray, meditate. You have to study a little bit. You got to really inquire of the Most High in the way that we believe, understand it to be today. Scripturally, inquiring was going to the prophet, by the way. But we have to do our best and wait. Me and my Ishah, we read, let me go to it. I'm not going to go to it, but I'm just going to reference it. Psalms chapter 25, 4-7. The very last verse, it says, and I will wait on you all day. You have to wait. And then the Most High will send it. I believe in that firmly. All right, let's keep going. I don't want to stay too much on that. Verse 3. For behold, chapter 1, verse 1, chapter 3. For behold, Yah Elohim of hosts is taken away from Jerusalem and from Yehuda support and supply. Taken from Yehuda and Jerusalem, support and supply, all support of bread and all support of water, the mighty man and the soldier, the judge and the prophet, the diviner and the elder. I'm not even going to go into the diviner part, you all. That's another topic. I may do like a small video to bring out divination and the understanding of it. But it's the reason he's saying this right here. The captain, so he's putting the diviner with the elder, with the judge, with the prophet, and the captain, right? The captain of 50 and the man of rank, the counselor, the skillful magician, and the expert in charms, and I will make boys their princes, and infants shall rule over them. And the people will oppress one another, everyone his fellow, and everyone his neighbor. We are seeing that today. We are having young men and women that should not be going so fast into teaching and leading. They're causing more destruction in our homes. They're causing more separation with man and woman, which is the foundation. On a platform last night on Love and Balance, I brought out something that I didn't pay attention to through someone by the name of Moore Baruch. I like to give credit where it's due. And we was going over when the mother of Moshe was pushing him down the river, right? Pushing him down the river. And on that portion, it says she created an ark. And it's the teaching was phenomenal, right? One day I'm gonna have to get him on the platform because I don't want to take the teaching that he brought out. But if I get his permission, I'm gonna bring it out. Okay. That one chapter will bring out so much and so much understanding. But anyway, she created an ark. How does she know about an ark? That means that she was studied. That means that her foundation, shalom, Zakena, Aim Kater, she was studied. Their family dynamic had to be strong. The scripture didn't say that the father was there, which makes you think, and this is the part that I brought out, I think, when he was teaching, if I'm not mistaken. Moshe was the prophet for us, saving Bnei Israel out of Mitzrayim. If it wasn't for his mother, and I'm sure the father had something to do with it, but he wasn't present. But if it wasn't for the mother, we would not have been saved. Most High probably would have did something else, maybe, but it's a reason, I believe, why the Most High utilized and showed that in the scripture, that the mother pushed Moshe out there into that river and used it, an ark. The scriptures say ark. I'm pausing because I'm trying to let that marinate a little bit, y'all. We see that with Moshe when his wife saved him. We see that with the story of Shimshon, Samson, how the dynamic with the mother and the father was, right? The malak, the messenger talking to her. And she didn't say, hey, you got to listen to what I say. No, she went to her husband. Her husband and say, no, you wrong. He said, okay, I'm going to go in prayer to solidify what was brought to my wife. The malak came again, said, what did your wife say? Okay, but I want you to do this. I'm telling you, what did she say? She was right. We see all these examples. So back to Isaiah 3 and 6, or 3 and 5. And the people will oppress one another, everyone with his fellow and everyone his neighbor, and the youth will be insolent to the elder, and the despised to the honorable. So verse 4 said, I will make boys their princes. So I was bringing all that out with Moshe. I was bringing out all that out with the wives and stuff like that, because the importance of man and woman is being lost in the so-called Black community, and it's definitely being lost in our community as Bnei Israel. Our order is gone. And that's what we're seeing right here, Isaiah 3. Let's keep going. For a man will take hold of his brother in the house of his father, saying, you have a cloak. Okay, I'm going to go through this. I'm going to go through this. Okay, let's go through this. Let's read verse 18. In that day, Yah will take away the finery of the anklets, the headbands and the crescents, the pendants, the bracelets and the scarves, the headdresses, the armlets, the sashes, the perfume boxes and the amulets, the signet rings, the nose rings, the festival robes, the mantles, the cloaks, the handbags, the mirrors, the linen garments, the turbans, right? What I'm wearing, and the veils. It wasn't removing it completely. It was removing it because the Most High gave that to us. We're supposed to be priests to the nation. So we're supposed to be not only dressed to impress when we can, but we're supposed to be dressed to impress spiritually too. So since we weren't dressed to impress spiritually, right? Our minds, our hearts, our minds weren't circumcised, and I'm pulling all that away from you to humble you. Go back to Isaiah chapter 1. To humble you. Instead of perfume, there will be rottenness. And instead of a belt, a rope, and instead of a well-set hair, there will be baldness. Instead of a rich robe, a skirt of sackcloth and branding, instead of beauty, right? All that stuff. Your men shall fall by the sword. We're seeing that today. Your mighty men in battle. We are seeing that today. All right. You have anything, Ishti, you want to say? Any comments? Let me pull this down before we go to the next chapter. Anybody that's present that's listening, if you have anything that you want to say, please say it. Ishti, you have anything?
Should I just talk to you?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you talk to you.
Shalom, shalom. Oh, Sada. Just like going through those chapters and looking at the state of Israel, and just looking at even at the state of it, talking about the little ones and just the households being at odds and being at war with one another. If you don't believe in religion, you don't believe in prayer, you don't believe in certain things, I don't want to say that's okay, but taking myself out of the picture, okay, I get it. But when you're looking at something in this literature and what many people will call the Bible, and you see what's going on today, you cannot deny that what we are reading is happening now. What we are reading is the current present or the state of our children, of our men, of our women, of our families. And to me, there was a song that I grew up listening to, and it was like, if we ever needed the Most High before, truly we need him now. Truly we need him. And there's no denying in that. There's no denying that we need him for the current potential destruction, some of our families, and I'd even say our first line could possibly experience. There has to be order. And even when Maish was reading in or when we were reading in Tehillim and Psalms, and it says that the Most High is weighing the heart and he is separating those that are wicked. If you don't know what you're doing that might be wicked, I would say it is time for all of us, not just people listening, for myself as well. Go on your knees and ask the Most High, if it is wicked, take it out of my heart. I don't want to be the ones that you're looking at, that we think we're doing something right and we're on the side of the wicked. We're on the side of the sinners, on those that are doing people wrong. We used to say, and when I used to take communion in Christianity, you know what we used to say? If you don't feel like you were in the right, you weren't supposed to take it at all. You weren't supposed to take it. And I believe that what we're speaking on, that same fear and drive needs to be brought back, that we need to examine what we're doing, because we don't want to be cut off. Because when the Most High cuts things off, he cuts it off. And he has a powerful way of doing things throughout our bloodlines to make sure we get the picture. And it's just time to get right, truly. So,
all right, Toda Rabah, Ishti, Toda Rabah. All right, we're going to go ahead and keep going. We're going to go and move to the next chapter. So we're going to jump down to verse 8. Remember, everything is context, okay? But we're not trying to go full in context today. And those that know me know I'm real big on context, real big with language, real big with the historical understanding. And verses 1 through 7 has some history understanding. Remember, you can get the understanding from the very first verse in chapter 1, Isaiah 1. Christianity has molded our understanding of Isaiah 9-6 more specifically, but we need to go into the context and go into the history. You might, I'm not going to get into that, because Isaiah chapter 20, I believe it is. I'll find it. I'll put it in the chat later after I'm done teaching. But we're going to stay on the course of what we're talking about right now. All right, let's see. Somebody put something in the chat. Shabbat Shalom, family. This is Yosef. I'm on my Ishaq. This is a great word. Toda. I hope you made it from the beginning, sir. I hope you made it from the beginning. I do appreciate you tuning in, because we was bringing out some things in the beginning I really believe needs to be understood. And I know you checked out the first one. For those that have not checked out the first one, what are you doing this for? Please watch part 1, all right? Because it's a build-up to where we're at right now. And if you start in the middle, you may understand. That's why I'm trying to go back and forth to give you a little bit of what I was saying, or what we were saying back then last week, so that you won't be too far going on to what I'm saying. All right, so we're going to jump straight down to verse 8. Straight down to verse 8 in Isaiah chapter 9. I wanted to just start off with chapter 10, but chapter 9 is needed. All right, Yah has sent a word against Yaakov, and it will fall on Israel. And all the people will know, Ephraim and the inhabitants of Samaria, who say in pride and in arrogance of heart. Okay, so in pride and in arrogance of heart, let me see something real quick. I didn't check this. Okay, cool. So in pride and in arrogance of heart, so your actions, right? What you're actually doing, and then it's not even that, it's how you're thinking. Your arrogant ways, your thoughts, everything start from your thoughts. Before you do something, you thought about it. I want to say 10 times out of 10, but just to be on the safe side, 9 times out of 10, before you do something, you thought about it. So you're not only arrogant to do the very thing I told you not to do, but to even think it before doing it. All right, let's keep going. Oh, it's not up. Oh, Torah. See, this is why you need your Isha. Men, this is why you need your Isha. It's needed. I understand not putting them on the forefront. That's why I don't knock the camps and don't bring their wives before the people, because something can happen. But in regards to dealing with ministry and things like that, your first ministry is your home. Your home ain't right. Then what? Y'all remember the story of Eli? His sons wasn't right. It didn't say one thing bad about Eli. Did y'all notice that? Did you all notice that it didn't say one thing bad about Eli outside of his sons? It starts with our home, you all. Let me pull it up. All right. We're gonna keep it moving. Those that's tuning in right now, if you have not done so, make sure you subscribe, please. Make sure that you share and make sure that you like the video right now. Torah Rabba. Verse 10. The bricks have fallen, but we will build with dressed stones. The sycamores have been cut off, but we will put cedars in their place. But Yah raises the adversaries of Rezin against him and stirs up his enemies. The Syrians on the east and the Philistines on the west devour Bnei Israel with open mouth. For all this, his anger has not turned away, and his hand is stretched out still. His hand is stretched out still. Pay attention to that. The people did not turn to him who struck them, nor inquire of Yah of hosts. So Yah cut off from Israel's head and tail, palm branch and reed in one day. The elder and honored man is the head, and the prophet who teaches lies is the tail. So remember, these prophets that was coming, these prophets that was sent, Yeshayahu, who is sent, is trying to correct and bring order and bring us back to what the Torah, the instruction was. A lot of things I try to tell people that the men and women of today that are true to the Most High are just like the men and the women back then. What was the name of the prophetess that brought the book for Dawit? I mean, not Dawit. Josiah? Say it again.
Huldah?
Yeah, Hilda. Right? Brought her this information to bring to Dawit. I mean, I keep saying Dawit. We was just reading Psalms a lot. To Josiah, my favorite king, by the way, because it said he did all things right in the eyes of the Most High, and there was no king before him or after him that has done what he has done. But if it wasn't for the fact of Hilda, the prophetess, bringing this information to him, he wouldn't have did it. Now, he was prophesied prior. Josiah by name was prophesied way before. But the point of what I'm saying is the heads and the honor, the elders, all these prophets are being cut off at the head by the Most High through those that the Most High is sending to correct the people. We have to understand that. We have to acknowledge that sometimes if an elder or a teacher come to you and say something, right? I'm talking about one that is righteous, that you can see righteous work, and you remove and move them to the side, you may be causing yourself harm, and then you may not even know it. Why? Because we're looking at the book as a fairy tale. We have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Toda Rabbah, Huldah, I can never say her name right. Huldah, right? Prophetess Huldah. We have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. We're still comfortable. Who does that sound like? When we was in Mizraim, we wanted to come out, but we wanted to go back because of the food that we had back there. Let's keep going. The elder, verse 15, an honored man is the head, and the prophet who teaches lies is the tail. All right, we're only going to 21. For those who guide this people have been leading them astray. For those who guide this people have been leading them astray. For those who guide this people have been leading them astray. And those who are guided by them are swallowed up. We are seeing that today. For those that are sincere, that's here right now listening or listening back, if you are sincere and you can't find you a righteous elder, leader, teacher, I bet you thought I was going to tell y'all to come to Bed Mount Zion Ministries. No, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say, go straight to the Most High in prayer, sincerely, meditate, fast, ask the Most High to send what is needed for you so that you won't be swallowed up. Verse 17, therefore, Yah does not rejoice over their young men and has no compassion on their fatherless and widows. Wow. For everyone is godless and an evildoer. Sometimes, watch this, you all. When people read this, everyone is godless and an evildoer, we'll say, man, everybody. Isaiah is talking about everyone. That's one of the biggest problems that we have in the so-called Christianity community and in the so-called Israelite community. We don't understand the context. This is not talking about every individual, but we're judged as a nation. If it wasn't for the sake of those remnant within the remnant, we wouldn't even have this prophet coming. The Most High can go off of very few. He was going to remove Bnei Israel, or the children of Israel, and start a whole new nation with just Moshe. Start a whole new nation. So there's always a group of individuals that are, but the prophets are sent for those that need to learn how to do it properly, for those that need to remove themselves from being sinners, because some of us are sinners and some of us don't know it. We could be ignorant to us being sinners. I know that sounds crazy, but for the most part, many of us are just sinners. We know we're doing wrong. So let's keep reading. Let's read 17 again. Therefore, Yah does not rejoice over their young men and has no compassion on their fatherless and widows. Wait a minute. Who is he talking to? Even the people who was being led, not just the teachers and the leaders, the people that were being led, because they didn't inquire on their own as well. Still understand structure, still understand hierarchy, still understand leaders is important. But if you see something that may be wrong, go into prayer to the Most High. Because the Most High just may use you to correct that leader, to correct those elders. Everyone is needed, even if you're not someone that has a position. Still understand order, still understand structure and understand hierarchy. But you still, if you're bringing righteousness, you can bring it. Because since they didn't, now the Most High is saying that he don't got compassion for them, on their fatherless, on their widows, because all of them have learned the ways of these teachings, of these leaders, of these prophets, and now they're doing it. Some on purpose, some ignorantly. But the Most High still has mercy and makes a way for those that's ignorant. But they have to desire it and they have to want it. Man, I hope I get through this, you all. Let's keep going. For all this anger has not turned away. Watch this. And his hand is stretched out still. We read that in Malachi. Why is his hand stretched out still? Because of the covenant. For his name's sake. It's always going to be a way for Bnei Israel to be together. Right? Not being removed fully, I should say. Verse 18, for wickedness burns like a fire. It consumes briars, I might be saying that wrong, briars, and thorns. It kindles the thickets of the forest, and they roll upward in a column of smoke. All right, we're going to go to chapter 10. We're just going through it, you all. Appreciate you all bearing with us. Hopefully it's something that's being said that is helping to provoke thought and change in your life, bringing you closer to the Most High, opening up some understanding. Right? Did you have anything that you wanted to say before we go forward?
When I look at the...
Hold on, I got to pull you so they can hear you.
When I was looking at chapter 9, and it said that they will be swallowed up, it reminded me of Korah's family. It said, and to lead the people astray. I don't know everything Korah was saying, but we do know that him and a few of his descendants were swallowed up.
Yep.
The Most High's word is not a lie. And even if we don't see the earth literally opening up and swallowing up some of our families, you're going to see certain things happen. Like, why is it every generation this is happening? Or not even every generation. Why is this happening to certain family members? Or why is this happening that way? And in your heart of hearts, you know why, especially if they're diametrically opposing what the Most High is saying, and they're coming at leadership. And not even, but they're coming at something that the Most High has put in his literature, and they're blatantly coming out against it. Most High is not to be played with at all. And that's what I'm like, Adon or Sar Yosef said, have a piece of that humble pie. We got to stay humble. Even if you're a teacher, whatever position you are, to whom much is given, much is required. So that means if you're a teacher, the Most High is going to be looking at you even more, and you have a greater responsibility for his people. So Cain, that was powerful.
All praise to the Most High. And it's something that you said. We talked on it yesterday. Most said to me would have been looked at as Tom. Tom being blameless or perfect, the text translates it as. But it was that one moment. It caused him not to go to the promised land due to him taking that credit away from the Most High, even though what was happening in his mind, his achot, his sister, literally just passed, and the scripture doesn't say anything about the people mourning her death. These people were extremely ungrateful, wanted to kill him. And you all notice all that time when that was happening, he didn't flip out. His spirit was so humble and meek. But you know what moved him, I believe, and I got this from a teacher, this part that I'm saying, the specific part. When his sister died, that was the same chapter. When he hit the rock and said, "We give you this water," I know I'm paraphrasing. It caused him. So what my Ishai just said, it's more for the leaders, and that's why the prophets are sent to the leaders first. Most High understands that. The people don't know or have what I gave to you. So it's more on you than it is on them. But they're going to get theirs too. Maybe not on the same level. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to chapter 10. We're actually breezing through this. We're breezing through this. But I hope, even though we are breezing through this, that you all are getting something that is beneficial. So let's keep going. All right. So chapter 10. And we're going to start. We're going to go 1 through 4 and jump down to 20. Here we go. Yeah. Forgive me. See, this is what you need your Ishai for, y'all. Telling you. Here we go. All right. Woe to those who decree iniquitous decrees. Woe to those who decree iniquitous decrees. Man, I bet you those that's hearing me read that right now could think of so many things that you have been seeing in this walk with leaders, or even those that wasn't ordained to be a leader, but they are starting platforms on social media or posting certain things. I bet you, reading this part right here, this sticks out. Woe to those who decree, you know what decree is? Iniquitous decrees. You putting something out there. And the writers who keep writing oppression. To turn aside the needy from justice. Right? From justice. What does that mean? You're not giving them what they need. You're not rightfully judging certain things. You might be allowing somebody to get over on them because of their name and who they are. Your what's the word I want to use? Respective persons type thing. And this person needs you. You're not keeping Torah. So you turn aside the needy from justice and to rob the poor of my people of their right, that widows may be their spoil and that they may make the fatherless their prayer. We're doing that today. A lot of teachers trying to get a lot of women in their platform that may have had men that may have passed, and they taking advantage of them. Same thing with the fatherless, the men that may not have been taught how to be men. So I'm going to manipulate them to my will and to do what I want you to do. It's so much. It's so deep, y'all. This is deep. It's not just thou shalt do. It's not just this. We're manipulating the text today. Leaders and those that's not ordained alike. We're manipulating the text and bending it to our will. Let's keep reading. What will you do on a day of punishment? In the ruin that will come from afar, to whom will you flee for help? And where will you leave your wealth? This is important. Remember I said earlier, some of you just coming in now, if you have not pressed like, press that like. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you have not shared, you can share it once it's over. If you appreciate the message, all praise and glory to the Most High. But watch this. It says, what will you do on that day of punishment? So we know that this can be present. Punishment could be present. Most High can punish you now, or this could be future. So I'm not going to argue which one it is. Shalom. What will you do on a day of punishment in the ruin that will come from afar? Watch this. To whom will you flee for help? And where will you leave your wealth? We was just talking about it. A lot of us, we lead, we teach, we lead with finances. You know what Beit Mazan leads with? Spiritual, mental, and physical. We need finances. Money helps everything to function. But when you start making that your forefront, now you're going to be removing the things, the things that you're supposed to circumcise. That spiritual connection you should have with Yah. What did God will say? Please don't take your spirit. Right? That mental side of it. Are you equipped? You asking the Most High to equip me in these areas, or how to deal with people on a mental level. All these things that they have been through. How can you help them if you don't know how? If you're not mentally equipped, if you're only one-sided and you can't be balanced and to understand their point of view. And then physical. How can this wealth that you have be what it's supposed to be if you're dead? I know Sirach talks about, Ecclesiasticus talks about the importance of working out and the importance of eating well. So it says, to whom will you flee for help when this day comes, when your punishment happens? And where will you leave your wealth? Oh, men, leaders, or women as leaders, right? Men, the ones that's over the people, that's doing the people wrong. When I wipe you out or when I punish you, that wealth that you're trying to attain from them, right? Because they're taking advantage of the fatherless and the widows, that wealth that you're trying to attain from them, what is it going to do for you? Because you're done. You're not focusing on the things that I've been telling you to do. Let's keep going. Verse 4. Nothing remains but to crouch among the prisoners or fall among the slain. For all this, his anger has not turned away, and his hand is stretched out still. The Most High hand is still stretched out in the midst of that, because the Most High is still going to find a way to put something in place or someone in place to gather the people and bring them the truth. All right, let's jump down to verse 20. Isaiah chapter 10, verse 20. Okay, it's some context behind this, but the things that I'm going to, it still applies today. And I challenge you all to go back behind what I'm bringing out to see if the context is true and what I'm trying to bring out to you all, because it's needed. All right. But it's definitely context behind this that I'm not trying to go to right now for the sake of time and for the sake of what I'm trying to bring out. Okay. Verse 20. In that day. Oh, you saw the finding, Lashama? Yah is going to judge those who harm the widows. Oh, yes. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And we don't know it. But it's supposed to be that way. Because the Most High has to sift through us and find out what this says right here, the remnant of Israel. I'd like to say the remnant within the remnant, because Israel itself is supposed to be a remnant to the rest of the world. We're supposed to be priests to the nations. So we're a remnant to the rest of the world. But for the most part, most of us are not focusing to be Tamim Weshalim, right? So Tamim Weshalim Beled Le'Yahweh, which means to be blameless or perfect, which we are afraid to say, by the way. I'm not going to go back over what I said in perfect. Please go back and watch it if you haven't heard me talk about it. But we're afraid to be that perfect in the works that we do. And also shalem is the word for dealing with perfect in your mind. Shalem beled, right? In your heart or your mind. For Le'Yahweh. Those are the things that we're running away from. But let's keep going. In that day, the remnant of Israel and the survivors of the house of Yaakov will no more, and survivors is still remnant, no more lean on him who struck them. Right now, are we leaning on people that struck us? We're leaning, every aspect of our life is leaning on them. I'm not a fool. I understand that we created a lot of stuff here in the United States. So I know somebody somewhere like, well, no, we created this. No, but they still took it over. They took it over and we probably used their parts. So we're still dependent fully. But it's saying in this particular time, we would no longer lean on him who struck us, but will lean on Yah fully, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. In truth. So what does that mean? A lot of stuff that's going on right now is not truth, but we call it that. I have to say that. A remnant will return, the remnant of Yaakov, to the mighty Elohim. It may say El. I'm not sure in the Hebrew right now. For though your people, Yisrael, be as the sand of the sea, only a remnant of them, a remnant within a remnant, will return. Destruction is decreed, overflowing with righteousness. Overflowing. This. Why is it saying that? Because it is righteous. This is righteously being put upon us. Because the Most High already gave us what we needed to do and we went against it. We became rebels, as most of us became sinners. And this is why we teach that we are sinners in the Christian church, most of us so-called black people, right? And then even in Israel, a lot of us harp on that. No one's perfect. Things like that. That's not Hebraic, though. That's not Tanakh based. But I'll do another teaching on that. I spoke on that a little bit earlier. Okay, so he said destruction is decreed, overflowing with righteousness. For Yah Elohim of hosts will, am I supposed to keep going here? Yah Elohim of hosts will make a full end as decreed in the midst of all the earth. All right, therefore, thus says Yah Elohim of hosts, O my people who dwell in Sion or Zion, be not afraid of the Assyrians when they strike with the rod and lift up their staff against you, as Mizraim or the Egyptians did. Be not afraid of them. And you know what's interesting? It's a little bit worse what we went through this time in the United States, I believe. I could be wrong. That's just my opinion. But the same thing that's being said right now through Yeshayahu or Isaiah is the same thing that we're saying today. A lot of us are afraid. Oh, my people who dwell in Sion. Oh, my people who dwell in the United States. Okay, I'll go through that in 1 second. I got like 3 more verses and I'll go back to that. Okay. Therefore, thus says Yah Elohim of hosts, of my people who dwell in Sion or Zion, be not afraid of the Assyrians when they strike with the rod and lift up their staff. Why? Because yes, some of us may pass away, die, or whatever it may be. But Israel as a nation is going to overcome. For in very little while, my fury will come to an end, and my anger will be directed to their destruction. So why is it saying that? Because the anger is actually directed towards us and what we did. And they're really just doing the very thing that the Most High allowed. They went a little too far, but the Most High is going to point in that direction next. Verse 26, it's the last verse. And Yah of hosts will wield against them a whip, as when he struck Midian at the rock of Oreb, and his staff will be over the sea, and he will lift it as he did in Mizraim. So, verse 22 says, for though your people Israel be as the sand of the sea, only a remnant of them will return. Destruction is decreed, overflowing with righteousness. So, a lot of us over here in United States thinks, oh, the same thing that happened in Mizraim, we're going to be going and being taken back to our land, right? But a lot of us, I'm going to answer your question. Watch this though. A lot of us are afraid of structure. A lot of us don't understand it, don't like it. A lot of us don't like leadership. We rebel against it. All of the above, we're by ourselves. What's going to happen when we're taken over there? The same thing that happened when we was in the wilderness. Many of us are going to be cut off. And many of us are going to be cut off, and only a remnant of us will actually be returning. Not all of us, only a remnant of us. Those that are faithful and righteous to the Most High in every subject. And your heart and your intent is to be that in every subject. Will you succeed all the time? No. But your intent and your heart is very important. So what is the destruction is decreed part? Overflowing of righteousness. From my understanding, this destruction is decreed. It was spoken about before. If you do go against what I'm telling you, you all chose not to do it. So now it's going to be overflowing. Right? How's it overflowing? All these people are about to be cut off. And it's going to be righteously done. Righteously so, because I gave you the antidote. I gave you the instruction, but you all are not listening. So many of you are not going to make it. And it's going to feel like it's overflowing. Trust. So hopefully I answered it. Hopefully I answered. That's the best way I can answer it. I don't know if I answered it better. All right. So we're going to go ahead and jump. We have a few more places to go. Told out for you, those of you that's tuning in and staying here so far. Again, please like, please share, please subscribe. Did you have anything you wanted to say before we go to the next chapter, Issue?
Only thing I'm looking.
Let me swap for you.
The only thing that I just want to bring out is it said destruction is decreed. And it reminds me of when like the emperor send their messages out with the little with their boards or their pamphlets, a message from the king, and it said it's decreed. There's nothing we can do about that except, like you said, get our houses in order.
Get our houses in order. Get our houses in order. Look here. Our what would that be? Our saying, home is the foundation. Community is its mirror, and the nation is its product. The reason we say that is because the reason a lot of these things are happening is because the home is not focused on. Look, Gabaret said that Todai Rabbah, one of our children asked, and that helped. Todai Rabbah. What you pick apart in that comment she just said? Her children is watching this. They have their own ministry. Right? All praise to the Most High. We appreciate you all tuning in. And so she's constantly, I don't know them personally. We're building with them, right? But what I can see, the Yeled or Yelda or their children, right? Hayaladim Hashalem is like the Hebrew out there. Their children are watching, keeping them going. So that's the home is the foundation for them. So now what may happen, and I always say may because we don't know if it's going to be a fact, right? This is what we're going to teach our children. Our job is to try our best to give you what's needed so that you can birth more righteous, right? That's not always guaranteed, but we hope it is. But what I'm saying is her children is watching this. Home is the foundation. The community is its mirror. So from her and her Ish, they created children, and they are networking more than likely with other Israelites that are righteous in their eyes. That's my assumption. And then their children will start playing with each other and getting to know each other, may not be forced to marry each other, or maybe, right? And now they're building a community. Now that mirror that was created, it started from the home. It started from her home, and it started from the homes that they're connected with. And now they are building a little nation. Okay, that's what we have to understand. So let's keep going, because I'm almost done, but we are going through 2 more chapters, y'all. Forgive me, 2, 3 more, because I'm trying to tie this all in. The title is, what are you doing this for? That is what this lesson is. What are you doing this for? It's an ultimate reason. We missed the reason before. A lot of times. So now it's an ultimate reason that we are doing this for. All right, let me pull it up. I'm not going to forget Ishti. I didn't forget this time. Here we go. Isaiah. We should be in 11. Okay. Told you all for tuning in. It's not a lot of verses, but we're going to go. I was going to go just to 12, but I want to use 11. I do understand the different understandings of this chapter, okay? But what we want to do is take the traits that we're seeing. Again, it's some context behind this chapter, but I want to look at the traits. These traits and what we're going to see, what's being displayed and brought out, is what the Most High wants us to be. This is what the literature is showing us to be. Let's keep reading. I'm going to go through it. There shall come forth a shoot from the stump of Jesse, and a branch from his roots shall bear fruit. All right. There are people that believe that this is just dealing with Israel, right? B'nai Yisrael. And then there are people that are attaching this to Yahushua, right? You know, I want to be fair and be balanced. But let's focus on the traits. And the spirit of Yah shall rest upon him. That spirit of Yah shall be rested upon us now. It started from Bereshit Genesis. Literally. The Most High created in his image and his likeness. The spirit was upon us. He blew the breath within us. And the spirit of Yah shall rest upon him, the spirit of wisdom and understanding. You remember Dawah said, please don't take your spirit away. The spirit of wisdom, this should be a focus of us, of all of us. 9 times out of 10, you gain wisdom through those outside of you. So if you're moving alone, you have nobody holding you accountable, you have no structure. 9 times out of 10, it's always the exception to the rule, but 9 times out of 10, you are not moving in wisdom, the spirit of wisdom. So, and the spirit of Yah shall rest upon him, the spirit of wisdom and understanding. With all you're getting, get what? Understanding. You could be smart, you could be intelligent, but if you don't know the context, you might as well be dumb because you don't have the understanding of the matter. You have a little bits and pieces. A false balance is abomination to the Most High. So we have to be balanced, right? Spirit of wisdom, understand. The spirit of counsel, know how to talk and teach people. Do not cause them to destroy their home or their lives. Do not cause them to pull away from the Most High. The spirit of might. So be strong in your understanding. Be firm. Deuteronomy chapter 1 talks about that. Don't even wait for those that are over you. Be firm in what you're supposed to be. And no, I talked about it earlier. If you have a leader or elders above you, and they're going off a little bit to your understanding, go before them. Talk to them. Come in the right spirit. Bring your understanding. You may win them over. Because if not, you may end up being what Isaiah was talking about. You could be the very thing that calls to help your congregation or the people that are among you. But you have to be righteous. So the spirit of counsel and might, strength, right? The spirit of knowledge. So you have to have knowledge. And the fear of Yah, that's probably the most important, not even probably. That's the most important thing. If you don't have the fear of Yah, then everything else is wiped off. And that fear of Yah is going to put you in a state of knowing how to be all these things. That fear of Yah is going to teach you how to deal with people properly. That fear of Yah is going to teach you how to be grounded in your understanding of what you're bringing and not be moved. That fear of Yah is going to be able to put you in a place of studying, praying, meditating, fasting. Let's keep going. And his delight shall be in Yah. You're going to always speak of the Most High. Some people don't like people that talk about the Most High a lot. It makes them uncomfortable. And that's a reason for that. May the Most High give them the understanding that they need, the understanding that they need as to why they're like that, so they could come closer. But some people don't like that. The delight is in the Most High Yah. He shall not judge by what his eyes see or decide disputes by what he hears. This is all Torah. Don't just go off of what you see. You need witnesses. You need context. Me and my Isha, y'all. I'm going to bring it up. Can I bring it up? You know I'm about to go with it? No, she'll know I'm going. It was something that was brought out about us. And it was so false. So my Isha just turned 31. And something was brought out and said that she was 18 years old. And I married an 18-year-old. I have to use that as an example because when that was said, and it was corrected, wasn't corrected the way it should have been corrected, but trust me, it was corrected before the people. But so many people responded and they attacked us. They attacked us with not getting the context and the information. I'm using this because this is important. We do this a lot in Christianity. We do that as those that believe they're Israelites. We do this here. We speak too quick. We don't protect our mouth, our words. We don't wait. So it says, he shall not judge by what his eyes see or decide disputes by what he hears. You got to do it balanced. A false balance, abomination. But with righteousness, he shall judge the poor and decide with equity for the meek of the earth. He shall strike the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips, he shall kill the wicked. I'm going to use this and make this spiritual. Don't we be hating when people do that? Because there's context with this. But how can we make that relatable to us today? Let's read it. But with righteousness, he shall judge the poor. The poor can be people that are actually poor, like really have no money, or it can be poor in spirit. They're depressed. They're going through some things. So if they're going through some things, sometimes people react a certain way. And if you are someone that's righteous, you can build off of that, right? What I mean by that is when you approach it, you will know how to approach it. So you have to judge that poor in spirit or that poor in finances, right? Properly, and decide with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall strike the earth with rod of his mouth. So how can that relate to us? We should bring things out that the Most High has instructed us in our Torah or in the Tanakh in general. We shouldn't allow things that's happening around us that we know is wrong, especially if we're able to control it, or we shouldn't put ourselves around it unless it's a teaching moment. But it shouldn't be in the midst of something that we know is just foul, by the way. I'm not saying, hey, I want to teach my brother what he shouldn't do, and he going in the strip club, and I'm in the strip club about to teach him in the strip club. I'm not saying do that. That's not what I'm saying. And forgive me for parents that may have children. I hope that wasn't too, but I'm trying to use as an example. Maybe that was a bad example, but that's not what it's saying. Speak truth, no matter what. When you come around them, people, speak truth. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Don't put yourself in a place where you know it's wrong. Oh, they're old enough. Cool. I thought about that. As soon as I'm like, oh, shoot, I don't know how old they are. Okay. And I think you did share that with my shot. And with the breath of his lips, he should kill the wicked. I want to use this a little more spiritual. This is out of context. So this is me speaking. Your very walk should cause a person that's moving in wickedness to die before you. Wait till you leave to return into what they was doing. That's not going to always happen, but most times it will. If you are a righteous man or woman and you come around family or around associates and they know this about you, they tend to die in how they normally are around you. Let's keep going because I'm taking too long on this. Righteousness shall be the belt of his waist. That means he wears it all the time. And faithfulness, the belt of his loins. He wears it. He's faithful to the Most High at all times, not just when he's by himself or she's by herself. All the time you're faithful to the Most High. Every time. You're righteous every time. Because a righteous person cannot be a sinner. I don't know if we're going to make it here today, and we may, but there's many places where the Most High removes himself from a sinner. He does not dwell amongst the sinner at all, period. He wants the sinner to stop the sinning. He wants no one to perish, but he cannot be around that sinner. So when people are teaching that everyone is a sinner or you're a sinner, don't let them put that on you at all. Let's keep going. But make sure that you're not that too. The wolf shall dwell with the lamb, right? So we'll say the title is, what are you doing this for? This is past our time. Isaiah 11 right here, going down, 11 and 6 coming down. This is past our time. Let's see if I'm right. The wolf shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the young goat, and the calf and the lion and the fattened calf together, and a little child shall lead them. The cow and the bear shall graze, their young shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. Are we seeing that today? Fully? The nursing child shall play over the hole of a cobra, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the adder's den, or the otter's den, They shall not hurt or destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of knowledge of Yah, as the waters cover the sea. Do you know that we have not even been around all the water in the world yet? I think we only, I forgot the percentage. I used to teach it. It's been a while since I taught it. It's like between 10 and 30% is what we have actually witnessed with the water. I could be wrong with the numbers, but I know it's very low. 10 to 30%. Why am I using that? It says, they shall not hurt or destroy in my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of knowledge of Yah as the waters cover the sea. That means everyone will know. Everyone will understand the order. Zechariah chapter 14, I believe, speaks on this. In that day, the root of Jesse, who shall stand as a signal for the people, of him shall the nations inquire, and his resting place shall be glorious. I want us to talk on this right now. It's something called personification with the language and just with the speech. So again, I'm not here to debate any idea of what this is talking about, but there are school of thoughts that believe, again, this is Yahushua, and it's people that believe that this is just Israel in general. Okay. Israel has been personified as a woman and a man, right? But this is not to debate any of it, but I'm putting this out there because this is important. We understand what Israel's supposed to be. We understand what those that are sent by the Most High are supposed to be. But this is important. I hope all these traits was brought out. We don't have to. Let's just go through it for the heck of it. Verse 11, in that day, Yah will extend his hand yet a second time to recover the remnant that remains of his people. So we know that the first time was dealing with Mizraim. So a second time, he will recover the remnant that remains of the people. So we know in 17, 16, whatever it was, whatever year it was, when I may be way off, when the Israelis was taking over there. So we know they weren't taking over there, and this prophecy right here was not dealing with them. You know, this isn't to talk about. I normally don't speak on this, but I'm speaking on it now because of what we're reading, right? So the Most High will extend his hand yet a second time to recover the remnant that remains of his people from Assyria, from Mitzrayim, from Pathros, from Cush, from Elam, from Shinar, from Hamath, and from the coastlands of the sea. He will raise, and I know some of you know what that coastlands could be, right? He will raise a signal for the nations and will assemble the banished of Bnei Israel and gather the dispersed of Yehuda from the four corners of the earth. The jealousy of Ephraim shall depart. We got jealousy among our people, y'all. And those who harass Judah shall be cut off. Wherever that happened today. So we know this is not something that happened in the past. Ephraim shall not be jealous of Judah. I read that. And Judah shall not harass Ephraim. But they shall swoop down on the shoulder of the Philistines at the west, and together they shall plunder the people of the east. They shall put out their hand against Edom and Moab, and the Ammonites shall obey them. I won't go into that. Just trying to go into this portion, right? And Yah will utterly destroy the tongue of the sea of Mizraim, and will wave his hand over the river with his scorching breath, and strike it into 7 channels, and he will lead people across in sandals. And there will be a highway from Assyria for the remnant that remains of his people, as there was for Israel when they came up from the land of Egypt. So I know there could be questions about Syria. Let's put a pin on that. Let's keep going. Do you have anything? Or we keep going? Which one?
I have one thing to say. It'll be quick.
All right.
It just reminds me, I'm not sure who all have seen Moana 2, but it just shows you that art imitates life. I believe a lot of them pay attention to what's going on in the literature that make these cartoons. And there's a part in Moana, I won't say what part it is, just in case there are those that do watch those movies and your children hadn't seen them yet. There's a part in it where the ocean opens up and it leads the other people that were lost back to this one landmass so that they can be united. And I'm like, it reminded me of that because it said it is strike into the 7 channels and he will lead people across in sandals. And that reminds me a lot of that. So it just lets me know that those that are around us know more about us sometimes than we know about ourselves. It's a beautiful thing.
All right. And I appreciate you bringing it out because, again, a lot of the things that we watch, they're literally taken from our literature in different areas, different subjects. Maybe it's not quite exactly what our literature is portraying or speaking of, but there are little elements in there that's right before our face. All right, let's keep going. So we read chapter 11, right?
Okay.
All right. We're going to go ahead and go to 12. We're almost done, you all. Bear with me. Bear with me. This is quite a long. This verse right here is. These verses are very short. So now we're getting to it. Now, what are you doing this for? Right. Let's keep reading. Verse 1. You will say in that day, I will give thanks to you, O Yah. I will give thanks to you, O Yahweh. For though you were angry with me, your anger turned away that you might comfort me. Hallelujah. Behold, Elohim is my salvation. I will trust and will not be afraid. For Yahweh Elohim is my strength and my song, and he has become my salvation. With joy, you will draw water from the wells of salvation. And you will say in that day, give thanks to Yah, call upon his name, make known his deeds among the peoples, which we should be doing right now. Proclaim that name, that his name is exalted, that his name is exalted, that his name is exalted. Sing praises to Yah, for he has done gloriously. Let this be made known in all the earth. Shout and sing for joy, O inhabitant of Zion or Zion. For great in your midst is the Holy One of Israel. Let's keep going. This is what we're waiting for. What are you doing this for? I know what I'm doing it for. What are you all doing it for? When we understand the bigger picture, not just momentarily, I'm doing this because I know I'm Israel. I'm doing this because I'm a part of an organization. Now, my family wasn't really in my life, so I'm happy to be here. I'm doing this because I can probably find a wife from this, or I can find a husband from this. And they say the name Yahweh, they say the name Yahuwah, Yehovah, they say the name Ahia, so I'm just going to go. What is your bigger picture? Remember, I told you I was a personal trainer. People will want to lose weight because they're going on a trip in 3 months. But then once the 3 months was over, they gained the weight back. They gained the weight back. So their why wasn't big enough. They weren't thinking about diabetes. They weren't thinking about their health, their liver, obese. They weren't thinking about that. They were thinking about going to that trip. So if we think about the bigger picture, this joy, this moment that we're going to get with the Most High, our children being able to stand amongst cobras. I'm not saying that's what we want them to do, but they're showing peace. This peace, that's the bigger picture. How can we get to that bigger picture? We have to start within us and who we're around. We have to start there. Let's keep going. Chapter 13. We're almost done. We're only reading a few verses here. We're going to start at verse 9. Start at verse 9. Behold, the day of Yah comes, cruel with wrath. So yes, we're waiting for this day, right? But before it's fully there, things have to happen. Cruel with wrath and fierce anger to make the land a desolation and to destroy its sinners from it. I went here for a reason. And I harp on it so much. I know I annoy people sometimes with it. Behold, the day of Yah comes, cruel with wrath and fierce anger, to make the land a desolation and to destroy its sinners from it. There's a couple different ways you can look at this. This can be you're doing something against the natural order of the land. So if you're doing something against something and breaking its divine laws, then you're sinning against it. I would like to say it's the other way, but it can be both, right? Verse 10, for the stars of the heaven and their constellations will not give their light. The sun will be dark and its rising, and the moon will not shed its light. I will punish the world for its evil and the wicked for their iniquity. I will put an end to the pomp of the arrogant. That is, arrogance is going to cause you to sin, y'all. Arrogance is sin. I'm not talking about pride. There's a difference between pride and arrogance. Having pride in the Most High, having pride in your heritage, in your culture, in your people, that is okay. Arrogance is different. I will put an end to the pomp of the arrogant and lay low the pompous pride of the ruthless. Okay? Now, that's all English. I'm not going to get into the Hebrew. But some of the translations, right? Because I just said nothing wrong with pride, but it's a certain type of pride, which is arrogance. I was only going to 14. Let's keep going. I will make people more rare than fine gold, and mankind than the gold of Ophir. He's going to make people more rare. All of us are not going to make it, man. We have to change our why and understand what are we doing it for. But that takes a lot of times leadership. All of us are not leaders when it comes to the people. but we are leaders when it comes to our home. And guess what the leaders that's over the people need? The leaders of their home to make sure stuff is in place so it can all be cohesive and it can mold the way it's supposed to, and we all can thrive. 13, therefore, I will make the heavens tremble, and the earth will be shaken out of its place, and the wrath of Yah of hosts in the day of his fierce anger. And like a hunted gazelle, or like sheep with none to gather them, each will turn to his own people. My whole voice changed right there. And each will flee to his own land. Think about it. We're scattered everywhere, but there's some people that's scattered everywhere too. The people that's here that ruled us, really over us still now, they weren't from here. So when this time comes, because it's not here yet, and people are so over the Tanakh, what you commonly call Old Testament, and don't even understand that it's not even all done yet. Everyone has not went to their own people yet, nor has everyone went to their own land. And I'm glad it said that, because some people say, well, we are all one if we all go by this. What about your own land? We're all not from the same land. And this goes with Zechariah chapter 14. So we're going to stop there. I think we have one more place to go, y'all. One more place to go. And then at that one more place, I'm going to bring out 3 verses or 3 more places to close it out. But those will be very quick, and we're going to close it out. Appreciate those of you all that have been tuning in. If you are just coming in, you have to go back and watch the beginning of this. And this is the second part. What are you doing this for? Part 2. So you got to go to part 1. Okay. If you haven't liked or subscribed, make sure you like this, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you share it. You can start with this one right here, because in this one, I kind of went over the first one, but there's some nuggets in the first one that you may want to write down. All right, chapter 14. Did you have anything before we go to chapter 14? All right. I think we only go into one verse. Okay, we can read 1 and 2. For Yah will have compassion on Yaakov and will again choose Yisrael. Will again choose Yisrael, right? And will set them in their own land. And sojourners will join them and will attach themselves to the house of Yaakov. And the peoples will take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel will possess them in Yah's land as male and female servants, right? Ebed. It says slaves, but we're supposed to be servants of Yah too. Actually called Moshe that, Ebed, right? So they will take captive those who are their captors and rule over those who oppress them. But hold on, watch this. It's more to this, right? It's more to this. Let's jump down to 7. Because some people will use this to say we're going to be beating, we're going to be harming. And if you want to think that, cool. I'm not trying to teach against it, but I want to show something. Verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and quiet. The whole earth is at rest and quiet. They break forth into singing. The whole earth. Why? Because when you get righteous people in power, it will be balance, it will be peace, and these servants, which I like to equate to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with what was his name? Jeffrey. Jeffrey was a servant to the family, and I could be wrong, but this is what I believe, because I see it throughout scripture, right? And I see this. It says the whole earth is at rest. It's no more of these wars and fighting. The animals everything is in sync. We're not polluting the earth. We're sitting up here and we're ruling in righteousness, right? Because in Torah, it shows you how to rule your servant. In Torah, which is the purpose of the prophets, to bring us back to Torah. So this says the whole earth is at rest and quiet. All right. So let's stop there. We're done. I want to take us to 3 places and we're finished. I appreciate you all tuning in. If you're just coming in, please go back to the beginning of this. I believe this is something that can help provoke thought and provoke change. So Isaiah chapter 57. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me pull this out.
The part to me that is so beautiful, it said the whole earth, that's verse 7 of chapter 14. The whole earth is at rest and quiet. They break forth into singing. And one of the things that you said that sticks with me is righteousness and order. We are not, and this is really coming from a place where we just have to think about it. We are not a naturally, and this is my opinion, a naturally aggressive or what is it? Type of people that just want to hurt others. If you all pay attention to certain movies, we're the most humble, we're the most loving. And even if you just look at different encounters on social media from other people who might have been their only nation that were in a group of us. Okay, for instance, there was a European family that went to an all so-called Black circus, and he posted it and said that they were the only white family there, but they felt so loved, they felt so welcomed. He said his son was the only white child there. He said, but the other children made him feel welcomed. If we were just a naturally evil people, there wouldn't be accounts like this. It would be turning up our nose or being mean. And I just believe that we just have to tap into the spirit that the Most High has given us. And that's to be, if we're supposed to rule, he wants righteousness. This earth is the Most High and the fullness thereof, and they that dwell therein. And we're supposed to rule it in righteousness. It's not supposed to be polluted. It's not supposed to be us acting with the same spirit we were oppressed in. Because what good would that be? I remember I had a conversation years ago when I first came into this walk. I said, what good is it if you have servants to beat and to act a certain way and you expect these people to serve your children, fix your food? Are they really doing it out of a spirit of love or a spirit of fear? And how is that going to translate into your household? You looking around every corner to make sure you're not getting poisoned? That's not righteousness. The Most High doesn't, to my understanding, operate like that. And I just love the presentation because we want peace and we want that serenity. That's what the Most High is about. Like Maish said, the prophets or the Nevi'im taking us back to that place where we ruled with righteousness. If we're singing, that means we're all happy. That means people that are servants are happy, because guess what? If you're a servant and the people that you're serving are righteous, you have a chance for having a family, and you have a chance for your family having a family, and you have peace. You have peace.
Okay. And again, I know some of the doctrines, right? So their word is eretz, right? It says world. It's used as land, okay? Adamah being soil. Context does matter. But let's say that it's only talking about when we get into Israel. It also said that we have servants that's going to be present. And the whole land, we could say land, is joyful and singing. That's everyone within the land. And if you go into the context, it said that all the people that are in their own places, Zechariah, they're going to be coming to that land, and they're going to have to do that. Okay. And to land back off of what my Ishai is saying, as far as peaceful, remember when we was being told to we was going to Canaan, or going to our land, I should say. The Most High always told us to lead with peace first. Mm-hmm. So when she's saying we're naturally a peaceful people, we should be. We're naturally that. I mean, sometimes we can be a certain way with each other, but that's what the Most High was instilling in us. And that is, make peace first. Protect yourself second. All right, so let's end it. We're about to end it, you all. I got a couple places to go just to close it out and kind of bring it home. All right, so we're going to go to Isaiah chapter 57. Let me grab this. Isaiah chapter 57 and go right through it. I'm going to breeze through it, you all. Isaiah 57, and we're going to go to verse 14. All right. It says, and it should be said, build up, prepare the way, remove every obstruction from my people's way. For thus says the one who is high and lifted up, who inhabits in eternity. Man, Mori Baruch, I love that part. Whose name is holy. I dwell in the high and holy place, and also with him who is of a contrite and lowly spirit. I'm coming here for a reason. We're trying to sum it up. We're trying to bring it all around, right? What are you doing it for? In order to know what you're doing, let me say this. In addition of knowing what you're doing it for, you have to know what you need to do in the process. All right. So he says, and also with him who is of contrite and lowly spirit, to revive the spirit of the lowly and to revive the heart of the contrite. Am I saying contrite contract? So I know this is talking about those that may be down and things like that, but guess what? As Bnei Yisrael, we should be down. We should not be happy with our state fully right now. Mm-hmm. We should want to get back and go to the end goal. We should want to be able to be in our proper place so this world can be righteous. So this should be us. Mm-hmm. Verse 15, for I will not contend forever, nor will I always be angered, for the spirit will grow faint before me and the breath of life that I made. Because of the iniquity of his unjust gain, I was angry. I struck him. I hid my face and was angry. Who is the him? Remember, I was telling you all about personification. Mm-hmm. A lot of times Israel is talked about as in the he, and the she, and the they. So he's talking about him and his right now. Because of the iniquity of his unjust gain, I was angry. I struck him. I hid my face and was angry, but he went on backsliding in the way of his own heart. I have seen his ways, but I will heal him. I will lead him and restore comfort to him and his mourners, creating the fruits of his lips, Peace, peace to the far and to the near. Remember we were talking about that leading with peace? And says, Yah, and I will heal him. But the wicked are like the tossing sea, for it cannot be quiet, and its waters toss up mire and dirt. There's no peace, says the Most High, for the wicked. All right. Let's go to Isaiah 60:62. One verse. 66:2. All these things my hand has made, and so all these things came to be, declares Yah. But this is the one to whom I will look, he who is humble and contrite in spirit and trembles at my word. Most of us do not tremble at the word of the Most High, the scriptures that we read. We don't tremble at it because we just read it and we go totally against it. That is leaders alike and those that don't hold positions. We don't tremble at the word of the Most High. We say it. We speak it. Right? Isaiah. Isn't it Isaiah was in 28 through 30, one of those that says that you hypocrites, your hearts are far from me, honoring me, right? Or honoring men, right? So this is literally Isaiah still. And he's trying to tell you what he desires. Last place. Let's go to Psalms. And we're going to close out with this, you all. Appreciate you all tuning in. Please make sure you like and share and subscribe if you haven't. Psalms 34, 18 through 22. Yah is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Most times, people that are like this, it may be people that are going through certain things. They may be going through certain things. But a lot of times, this is dealing with people who see a lot of things. A lot of times, right? Verse 19, many are the afflictions of the righteous. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, right? It could be things that's being done to them, or it could be things that they're seeing being done to their people. But Yah delivers him out of them all. He keeps all his bones. Not one of them is broken. Affliction will slay the wicked, and those who hate the righteous will be condemned. Yah redeems the life of his servants. None of them who take refuge in him will be condemned. Now let's look at this. Y'all see this word servants? Mm-hmm. This is the same word, you all, that was used to those that's going to be following us that I just read. It's going to be in the plural, though. Let's click it. Ebed. Right? Ebedim, servants. Ebed. This is the same word that's used for those that's outside of Israel that's going to cling to us and they're going to be serving us. And we are supposed to be the servants of the Most High. So the same manner as we are supposed to be to the Most High and to his people and even to the rest of the nations is the same way that those servants is going to be cleaving to us, is going to be to us. And with that, I yield you all. May the Most High bless and guard each and every one of you. I pray there's something that has been said that's going to provoke thought and change in your life, for your home and for yourself. And if I want to bring this up before I close out. If it's anything that you all might want to, lost my train of thought. Before we get started, before we end, I should say, I want to bring this up. I think I saved it. Let me stop sharing this. I want to share the fact that me and my Isha, we teach Hebrew. For those that don't know, that's watching or watching back, we teach Hebrew to children and also to adults. I focus on the adults and even the teenagers 13 and up. She focuses on 6 through 12, and we're speaking conversational Hebrew, right? In that process of learning conversational Hebrew, you will learn, if you don't know the letters, you will learn it, and you'll learn the vowel points. I know people are against that, but I've done videos on teaching why it is important, but that's another topic. But what we teach can help you if you want to use Paleo script. What I like to say, most people who harp on Paleo script or harp on pictograph and things of that nature, which is okay, we need it. We need it. Most of them don't even speak Hebrew. Let me say that one more time. And I'm not knocking them, because where you are is great. That's a step. We want to teach our children. We want to teach ourselves. Whatever dialect you speak, Lashon Kadash, biblical modern Hebrew, right? Which is not Yiddish, by the way. That's another topic. I encourage it, but do not discourage everyone else, especially if you cannot hold a conversation in a dialect that you know. I'm not talking about prayers memorized. I'm not talking about greetings memorized. I'm talking about speaking it. Okay? So what we're teaching is conversational Hebrew that can actually help you to speak the dialect that you want, because what's causing you not to speak the dialect that you want is your vocabulary. You have to build your vocabulary up. Then you could use your Paleo script. Then you could use your pictograph. So anyway, our classes start April 28th. Hers goes through June 24th. Mine goes to June 25th. But we are doing this every 2 months. We're going to keep doing it. So those that join the class can continue to stay in the class, to continue to grow and improve if they feel they need to. And those that want to come later, it will be every 2 months. So you can actually email us at houseofbalance12@gmail.com. Where is it? Here we go. houseofbalance12@gmail.com. If you're interested in joining the current classes, you can email us. If you want to hear us doing some Hebrew, make sure you go to the Brewlings, BREWLINGS. I think I may be wrong. If you're still here, Gabarret, can you please put your website or your YouTube channel in the chat? Me and my Isha are partnering with them as well and bringing forth Hebrew for the children. And you could go there, check that out, so you can hear some things that we're doing. And you can see on our YouTube page, I go through a lot of synthesis. My Isha is doing some things as well, just if you want to see if we are, worthy of your of assisting you. So houseofbalance12@gmail.com, email us there. Also, we do have people that are supporting us, and we appreciate you. If you want to continue to donate, or some people like to tithe, some people like to offer, whatever it might be, if it's in your heart, you can go ahead and Zelle us after Shabbat. You can Zelle us at houseofbalance12@gmail.com. Let me take the ticker off. You could Zelle us here if you want to. It's no pressure. We're not those that's going to say, hey, donate, but we do have people that donate towards our ministry. So you could do it there. Or you could go to Cashapp and that's House of Balance 12, right? House of Balance 12. And the last thing that I'm going to bring out is we created something for our supporters that often donate to us. We created something that's like, what's the other one that people use? Patreon, right? But we use NASIO. We use NASIO. Now, in this NASIO, and I keep forgetting to bring the flyer. I'm going to do that next time. Maybe you'll remind me. And what we offer in this community is not to join our ministry. Unless you want to join the ministry, you let us know. And that's even a process in its own. Okay. But if to join the community, a lot of people don't have people that hold them accountable, encourage them in integrity, mentorship. We want to bring forth prayer calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays when we get enough people to join the community. We also, those of you that know us musically, I'll be playing our single after I'm done talking. We are making it to where when our next album come out, you all are able to pick the songs that go on there, because you will be getting the songs before the people that hear it. And also you'll get songs that's not going to go on the album. We give that to those as people that's going to be in the community. Products that we may have. I'm a author, so I wrote 7 books. My Isha has a lot of things too, discounts and stuff like that. So with this code, write this code down. What it's going to do is allow you to join the community for 14 days to see if it's something that you would like to be a part of. Again, a lot of people are by themselves, so they don't have people to keep them accountable. Communities coming in to WhatsApp with one another and having little times that we meet with one another. You know, that's what we're trying to establish in this community. If you feel it's good for you and your family, then you can join, and it'll be $20 a month. That's what typically $20 or more is what people donate to us. So we made it a way for them to come there. And without further ado, I'm going to stop. I'm getting tired. I've been talking all this whole time. I hope you all wrote it down. We're going to go ahead and close out. Let me look at the comments. Music. Yeah. You all are going to hear the song right now for those of you that have not heard it. Appreciate you, the Barrett. Appreciate you. May the Most High bless and guard you all. Here's a little Hebrew lesson for you. In Numbers chapter 16, the Most High, through the priests, was telling us a way to greet each other or when we leave, okay? And it's about 6 verses, but I always only use the first verse. And that verse is Yeberech, Yahweh Yeshmarech. Or Yeberecha, selectively. Yahweh Yeshmarecha. That's talking to one man. But in the scripture, a lot of times, most times, 90% of the times, it's talking to, it's a hierarchy. So the Most High talked to the prophet. Prophet came and talked to the elders. Elders came and talked to the men over the tribes. The men over the tribes came and talked to the men, and the men brought it to their family. So most of the text is written in masculine. It is feminine in there, but when it's addressing a lot of people, it's talking in that way. So in this sense, when he's telling us how to greet each other leaving, it's talking to a man. So this man is going to pass it. But how do you say it to a female? How do you say it plural? Hebrew is gender specific. Mm-hmm. So Yeberecha, Yahweh Yeshmarecha is when you're talking to a man. Some people may say Yahweh, right? Some people may say Haya. But then when you're talking to a woman, Yeberech, Yahweh Yeshmarech. When you're talking to multiple people, Yeberechem, Yahweh Yeshmarecha. Yeberecha, Yahweh Yeshmarech. Yeshmarecha. Shalom. So I was reading my so that's how you would do it, and this is what we're teaching. So shalom, you all. May the Most High bless and guard you all. And until next time, we'll see you. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, and make sure you share. Here we go.
I'm ready. I see a dream, that dream is green. And I don't mean material things. Freedom to the land, child, woman, and man. As we take up for what we stand. Better days and better nights. As we stand and unite. We're one and the same. Why is it so hard not to point and to blame? Better sheet, get our houses in order and we'll see the peace. There are steps that we must take if we wanna see.
I see my people rising, no more stopping us. Couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us.
The sake of us, the sake of us.
I see my people rising, no more stopping us. Couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us. No more failing, telling, being beneath. What a beautiful moment, and a sight I can't wait to see. Even if I miss it, at least I wasn't part of the mission. Changing lives of men, women, and children. All glory goes to He that causes us all to be. Oh, and if they're thinking we can, we show them that. Just as long as we stand, a monument. We the people can't be broken as long as we stay focused. I see my people rising, no more stopping us. A couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us. For the sake of us. I see my people rising, no more stopping us. A couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us. I see my